limited means. My grandfather, the priest, he was still the mainstay of the village. I saw my grandmother, the Papadia, who was suffering terribly and coping with the loss, with the fact that not all of her children, 4 of her children had left and lived in New York. And seeing the devastation that displacement had caused for her, it was something I could not have known. So I saw the power of photographs. She would sit in her avli, in her yard, and look at photos of all of us. I didn't realize that were decades-old photographs of us, and that there was a chronicling of our history, our birth, our moving on in life, where those photographs were there, and that was one of the means for them to piece the threads of what had happened to the children and now the grandchildren. And so my going back to Thailand, I'm sorry, was understanding loss in a very profound way, where I to this day cannot go to a liturgy in San Francisco without remembering my grandfather and have that feeling that we were not privileged to be in his presence and to get to know him the way other people get to know their elders. And so the cost of the migration, the cost of their leaving, was so profound for us, and we all still feel it. Every day we have remembrances, misgivings, stories of loss, missed opportunities to be with our elders, to learn from their experience. This is the cost of what the migration.
I was always proud to be Greek, and I had my American friends, and I had my Greek friends. I had the 2 sets of friends that I was tight with both. Again, everything here in Washington, we don't have a Greek town or anything like that, so it's centered around the church. That's where you meet your friends every week. And I sort of wandered a little bit though in between. After I got into college and beyond, I was not a regular churchgoer. I sort of pulled away from the Greek culture for many, many years, except for my family. But when I had my own family, when I started to have kids, I got back into it. And the beautiful thing about it is that now when I go to church, I see my friends with their kids, and also if they're lucky enough to still have their parents around, the people who were young men and women when I was a child are now elderly and at the end of their lives, and they're still going to church. And the thing that I'm trying to impart to my sons and daughter is, your mom and I aren't going to be around forever. And when we're gone, you can come here and you can see people like us. And we're all a part of this bigger thing, this Greek community. And you're never going to be alone. And that's really what it means to me.
Many years ago, they wrote an article in the local newspaper, which was talking about my career. Actually, it was a favorable article overall, but in the course of the article, they said that because I'd gone to these leading universities, Princeton and Oxford and Harvard Law School, all of that had enabled me to overcome my Greek origins. When I read that, I was extremely upset by it. So I wrote him a letter, not a long letter, but I wrote a letter in which I said that I had never regarded my Greek origins as something that I had to overcome. In fact, I had always regarded my Greek origins and the values that my father and mother had taught me as an essential part of my character and my strength to contribute to American society.